Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this video real quick.
This comment is very important, so I need y'all to read this. When the chips are down, you Latinos forget the support from the black folks. And I cannot agree with this creator more. The Latino community and its anti-blackness is strong and it needs to be expelled from our community. We hate black people within our own communities where Latinos, and I'm talking to Dominicans right now, my people would say, oh no, I'm not black, I'm black white, or I'm Latino black. Whatever excuse to remove themselves from being African American, US black. The anti blackness, the colorism in our community is so fucking toxic that is how white supremacists were able to split us up against each other, Latino against Latino, and also Latino against black Americans. And now we're seeing birthright citizenship being taken away, the 1965 Civil Rights Act being attacked. And what a lot of Latinos don't know is that the 1965 Civil Rights Act was also what gave a lot of immigrants like your parents the ability to actually become US citizens. So birthright citizenship, a pathway to a status was established, was given to us by the hard work of the black community. And when we were beneficiaries of all that great work that they did, what did the Latino community do? Spit in their face by voting for Trump. And now all that hard work is being wiped away. And that's right. Latinos did forget all of the support that black people gave us and helped us get to a place where our great grandparents and our parents and then the children born today were able to be part of this country. And that's why I'm trying to work harder than ever to do two things. One, expel the anti-blackness in our community because, like I said before, we are black. And also trying to do my best to rebuild between Latinos and black Americans. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. Is there a lot of work to do on our part? Hell yes. But like I've said 1,000 times before, we are stronger together and we need to stop doing the white supremacist work for them.
So I will 100% agree with him. I do want to actually bring up some points that I even experienced in my childhood. And, a lot of this stuff is something that is taught in house. Okay. Especially, looking at people's ages now, your 30s, your late 20s, or whatever the case may be. This is stuff that was taught in house. You weren't just scrolling on social media being like, oh, yeah, age 10. Yup, this is what they said. You weren't doing all that. Okay. So the reason why I say that is because in my when I grew up, the neighborhood I was in where my house is all white area, okay? Not now anymore, but when we were there, we were the only black family for years, okay? And we had a racist neighbor and all the other stuff and all this other craziness. But the school and the overall community was Hispanics and blacks. You had a little sprinkle of white in there, but you had more Asian than you had white, but it was mostly Hispanic and black, like almost right here. Okay. So going to school, that's why, around like Hispanic people and black people, I feel the most comfort, especially like before I went to college, because I went to U of I and it's a lot of white and Asians, and I just didn't really grow up with them like that. So that's why with Hispanics and black people, I was always more comfortable with them. But anyway, so like in my school, for example, there would be Afro Latinos, right? I didn't, I just knew like you were Hispanic and you also look black. I didn't know like the term Afro Latino. So I was just like, oh, they're mixed Hispanic, black, and like, you hear them speaking Spanish and they'll swap to English and all the other stuff and all that, right? And I remember I asked one of them, like we were like talking, about race or whatever, about your family and stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, right?" Like they didn't say I'm Afro Latino. They just said I'm Puerto Rican or Afro Puerto Rican. None of that. It was just I'm Puerto Rican, right? They never mentioned being black. Okay. There's another chick, and then she was like, "Oh well, I no, I'm not black. I'm Hispanic. I'm from whatever, right?" And most of the Hispanics that were not like Mexican or from Honduras or whatever that were Afro Hispanic, Afro Latino, most of them, from what I noticed, always said that they were just Hispanic. One dude, he was a light skinned Hispanic. He was a Puerto Rican, light skinned. And I mean, if you looked at him, you wouldn't think apparently one parent was black and the other one was like a white Hispanic or whatever. And then same for another dude who was dark skinned though. Like the other dude, he was lighter than me and the other dude was darker than me. Okay. Not as dark as this, but he was dark. Okay. And like the darker one, he would, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm black, I'm black and Puerto Rican. The other one, I'm just Puerto Rican. So I noticed, I'm like, that's very interesting how they don't say like, they don't mention being black or yeah, I'm black Puerto Rican, not that, I'm just black. You know what I mean? I mean, no one's saying that you have to, get rid of the other side. Just like when people are mixed with black and white, it kind of makes it a little weird when people just say, I'm black. And it's like, so your white mama didn't matter, your white daddy didn't matter at all to make you? You would say I'm biracial. I am black and white, whatever, right? But I always thought that was interesting. But yeah, that's something I actually heard about in regards to that, where you have a lot of Hispanic people. They are like so anti-black, like people who grew up in just straight up Hispanic communities, black and Hispanic, and the stories you hear, it's like Jesus, man, y'all really don't like black people at all. Which I the way I grew up was different. Yeah, this is what I've heard. But even like interacting with different Hispanic people, it just, Hispanic, even if you're not Afro, even just interacting with them, I mean, they never really were like that, like we were always like kind of in the same boat. You know what I mean? That's what I always thought was interesting because I'm like, out of, the Asians, the Indians, the white people, I was like, Hispanic people, whether you're Afro or not, I'm like Hispanic people and black people. I thought we were here. I thought we were like this. But then when you start actually hearing stories of people saying like, yeah, Hispanics don't even like us. I'm like, what? Which I thought was so crazy because when I grew up, like I said, I predominant black Hispanic population. I'm like, really? They're like that? Like even in the grocery stores, yeah, they'll act kind of weird because we're not speaking Spanish, but it was never that kind of animosity, But then when you start seeing other people's experiences and hearing other things and actually seeing it outside of your bubble, it's like, oh, wow, y'all really don't like us. Like, why? you know, I thought we were kind of, I thought this is where we were, but, not everyone is like that. But yeah, that's the thing, you have a lot of people who when they are Hispanic, they'll try to, especially depending on the skin tone, they'll try to, relate more to whiteness than what they actually are, or even be an ally of black people, which I find to be just disheartening and very odd. Yeah. Someone here said, I ain't black, I'm Dominican. That's what one of my coworkers told me. She's even darker than me. Puerto Ricans were always aligned with the black community. Dominicans said they're better than and identify as Spanish. Yeah, some people even say, yeah, I'm Spanish. I'm Spanish. It's like, are you people from Spain? Because Spanish, Dominican, you're from the DR. Okay. Mexican, obviously, you're from Mexico, or your people are. And with Spanish would be from Spain. So I'm like I actually knew some people who were Spanish. Okay, like they were white Hispanic. They were actually like they're people from Spain. Okay, so but I just find that to be quite interesting, and I liked what it is that he had to say. But let me know what you all think about this down below.